Welcome to another deep dive. And today we're going to be looking at Francioni Mastromarino,
Okay.
a contemporary Italian artist duo who are really kind of making waves in the art world.
hmm
But we're going to be focusing on how they present themselves online. So we'll be looking at their website and their social media and seeing how they're using the digital age to share their art with the world. And
Yeah, I think what's really fascinating about them is the way they blend these really traditional sculpting techniques
yeah,
with a very modern approach
yeah,
to kind of putting themselves out there.
yeah.
It's not just about the art; it's about the whole brand, the whole package.
The whole package, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to look at them through that lens.
Yeah.
But I guess before we dive too deep into that, let's just take a step back and for those who haven't heard of Francioni Mastromarino, can you just tell us who are they?
Sure. Yeah. So Francioni and Mastromarino are a couple,
Okay.
Eleonora Francioni and Antonio Mastromarino, and they've been working together for over 20 years. And they're based in Pietrasanta in Italy,
Oh,
which is a town with a really, really rich history of sculpture.
oh wow.
Even Michelangelo sourced marble from Pietrasanta.
Oh wow. So they're really
Yeah,
they're really following in the footsteps of some masters.
exactly. Yeah,
Well,
they're working in a place that's really steeped in artistic legacy.
and speaking of giants, their website talks about this idea of gigantism, and they've even created a 5-meter tall head of Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
So what is the story behind that?
Well, I think that's a really great example of how they combine ambition with a sense of spectacle.
Right.
You put a 5-meter tall head anywhere and people are going to stop and look at
It's
it.
a statement piece.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do they even transport something like that? I'm just thinking about the logistics.
Yeah.
And what about the materials they use? Because their website also talks about sustainability.
Yeah.
And I imagine that would be quite challenging with large-scale sculptures.
Yeah, that's a really interesting aspect of their work.
Yeah.
They're very committed to using these eco-friendly materials, even when they're working on this kind of grand scale.
Mm-hmm.
And one of their signature techniques is to use rice husks.
Rice husks?
Yeah.
What are those?
So it's basically a byproduct from the agricultural industry,
Okay.
and they mix it with mortar, and they use that to create these incredible sculptures.
So it's sustainable, and it also ties into a very specific Italian industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a real connection there to their heritage and to their environment.
Yeah. I mean, it just makes me wonder, does knowing that background about the sustainability and the rice husks, I mean, does that actually change how you view the sculptures themselves?
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think knowing about their commitment to sustainability, you kind of look at the work through a different lens,
Right. It's not just an aesthetic thing anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, it's about more than just looks.
Hmm.
It's about making a statement about the world we live in.
Yeah. And speaking of making a statement, their website also highlights recurring themes in their work,
Yes.
like matriarchy and women's rights and hope. And I noticed that they have this recurring motif of the golden vulva,
Yes,
which is very bold and provocative.
it is.
So what do you think they're trying to say with that?
I think they're very much engaged with contemporary social discourse. They're not afraid to use their art to express their views.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the vulva, for example, is a very direct challenge to traditional representations of female sexuality and power.
Right.
It's really in your face. You can't ignore it.
Yeah, it's a statement.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting how they're using their online presence to kind of amplify that message, to reach a wider audience.
Yeah, I mean, their website isn't just a portfolio. It's a platform for them to really explain their vision,
Yeah, it's like a manifesto almost.
Yeah, exactly.
So if someone were to go to their website for the first time, what kind of impression do you think they would get? Would they just see the art, or would they actually get a sense of the artists behind the work?
I think you get a real sense of the artists.
Yeah.
They're not just presenting finished products.
Mm-hmm.
You get a sense of their process, their inspirations. You see pictures of them in the studio.
Yeah.
There's a real human element there.
It's like they're really trying to bridge that gap between the artist and the viewer.
Yeah, I think that's a really important part of their approach.
It makes me wonder, does that change how you interpret the work, knowing the artists behind it?
I think it does. Yeah, I think it adds another layer of meaning.
Yeah, it becomes more personal somehow.
Absolutely.
So I'm really curious to dive deeper into how they're actually using these digital tools.
Okay.
because they have a shop on their website. They're active on social media. They even mentioned collaborations with brands. It's
Yeah.
like they've really built this whole ecosystem around their art.
Yeah, they've really embraced the business side of things as well as the creative side.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's a really interesting case study, I think.
So where should we start?
Well, let's start with their website because I think that's really the hub of their online presence.
Okay, let's do that. So their website, you said it's more than just a digital portfolio.
Yeah, it's really a platform for them
Yeah.
to tell their story and to connect with people.
And they're even selling their work directly through the website.
They are. Yeah, they have a shop
Oh,
where you can actually buy.
so they're really cutting out the middleman.
Yeah, they are.
Wow.
It's quite a bold move.
That's pretty brave. I mean, how do they even handle like shipping these huge sculptures?
Well, they address that on the site.
Okay.
They have information about the shipping process, the insurance, the delivery times.
Oh, so they're very transparent about it.
Yeah, very much so.
And they also have that section explaining their use of sustainable materials.
Yes.
Which is not something you see every day.
No, not really. I mean, it shows you how important it is to them.
Yeah.
It's not just a gimmick. It's a core part of their identity.
And they're getting good feedback. They have testimonials from collectors on the site.
Yeah, those are really interesting
Yeah.
because they give you a sense of how the work is actually received
Yeah.
by the people who own it.
Yeah. It brings in that human element again.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about social media because they're
Hey.
pretty active on Instagram.
They are, yeah. Their Instagram is great.
Yeah.
It's a really good mix of professional and personal stuff.
Yeah. I saw that they often post videos of themselves actually sculpting.
Yeah, it's fascinating to watch, isn't it?
It is. I mean, you really get a sense of the work that goes into it.
Yeah, you see the sweat,
Yeah.
the sheer physicality of it.
Yeah.
And they don't shy away from showing the challenges.
Right.
You know, the mistakes, the things that go wrong.
So it's not all glamorous.
No, it's real.
And they also use the captions to tell stories about the pieces. You know, the inspiration, the meaning behind them.
It's like a mini art history lesson with every post.
Yeah, and they're smart about using hashtags as well.
Oh, yeah.
To reach a wider audience.
Absolutely.
So they're really thinking strategically about how they use the platform.
Very much so.
It's not just random posting.
No, they have a plan.
And they're engaging with their followers as well.
Yes. Always responding to comments, answering questions.
Oh, they're building a community.
Yeah. There's a real sense of community there.
It's great.
It is.
Have they ever said, like, why they're so committed to this digital approach?
Well, they talk about wanting to democratize the art world.
Oh, okay.
You know, make it more accessible to people who might not be able to visit galleries.
Right.
So they see the internet as a way to break down those barriers.
So it's not just about selling art, it's about reaching more people.
Exactly. Yeah, it's about sharing their passion with as many people as possible.
I love that.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
They've got this multi-platform approach. They're not just relying on their website and Instagram.
No, they're on all sorts of platforms.
Yeah.
Online marketplaces, auction sites.
So they're really casting a wide net.
Yeah, they're covering all their bases.
And it makes sense. I mean, you never know where a collector might be looking.
Exactly.
And it's not just about the sales. It's about building relationships,
Yeah.
establishing a reputation.
Yeah, it's all connected.
But what about the ethical side of selling art online? I mean, how do they ensure that the work is authentic?
Right. Well, they have a very clear copyright policy on their website,
Oh, okay.
and they use watermarks on their images.
Oh, okay.
And they provide certificates of authenticity with every sculpture they sell.
So they're taking it seriously.
Very much so.
And they're transparent about their pricing and everything.
Absolutely.
So there's no funny business.
No, everything's above board.
I'm really impressed by how they've managed to navigate all of this.
Yeah, it's not easy.
And without compromising their artistic vision.
No, they've stayed true to themselves.
It's inspiring.
Yeah, it is.
So they're not just talented sculptors, they're also savvy business people.
Yeah, the whole package.
It's amazing.
Yeah, they're really pushing the boundaries.
So what do you think all of this means for the future of art?
I think it's a sign of things to come.
Yeah.
The internet is changing everything.
And Francioni Mastromarino are at the forefront of that change.
Yeah, they're leading the way.
So what's next for them? What do you think?
Who knows? I'm sure they have something up their sleeves.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But for now, I think we've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's been a fascinating deep dive.
Absolutely.
So I'm ready to move on to our final segment.
Okay, that's it.
So we've seen how they use the tools, but like, what does it all mean? You know,
Yeah.
What does their approach tell us about art in the digital age?
Well, I think they really show how the internet is empowering artists.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just waiting around for a gallery to discover them. They're taking control of their careers.
It's that democratization thing again.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyone can do this now.
But it's not easy, though, is it? I mean, it takes work.
It takes a lot of work. Yeah.
I mean, they're practically entrepreneurs.
They are, and yeah, they're running a business.
Yeah.
On top of making art.
Do you think every artist needs to be like that now?
I think it's becoming more and more important.
Yeah.
Even if you're working with galleries, you still need a strong online presence.
Right. Because that's the first thing you do when you hear about an artist.
Exactly. Yeah, you Google them.
You check out their website, you look at their Instagram.
It's essential.
So it's like having two studios almost.
Yeah, one physical, one digital.
But are there downsides to this whole digital shift?
Well, there are some challenges, yeah.
Like what?
I mean, one is just the sheer volume of stuff online.
Yeah.
It can be hard to stand out.
It's a lot of noise.
It is, yes. So you need a good strategy.
Like Francioni and Mastromarino.
Exactly. They're very deliberate about what they post.
It's curated.
Yeah.
But what about the value of art in the digital age?
Ah, that's the big question.
Yeah. I mean, does digital art have the same weight as physical art?
Some people say no.
Right.
Because it's so easy to reproduce.
But others say it's a whole new world of possibilities.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a different way of thinking about art.
And Francioni and Mastromarino are kind of bridging that gap.
Yeah.
By using digital tools to enhance the physical art.
Exactly. It's not one or the other.
Yeah, it's both.
It's a combination.
And who knows what the future holds? I mean,
Yeah.
imagine virtual reality exhibitions.
Oh.
Or augmented reality
This
experiences.
is going to be amazing.
I'm excited.
Me too.
This whole deep dive has been really eye-opening.
Yeah, it's been fascinating.
So any final words of wisdom for aspiring artists out there?
Be bold,
Mm-hmm.
be authentic,
Mm-hmm.
and don't be afraid to experiment
That's great advice.
and have fun.
Yes, definitely have fun.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a wrap for this deep dive.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And be sure to check out Francioni Mastromarino online.
Yeah, they're amazing.
You won't be disappointed.